guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another astrological analysis of celebrities, but this time I wanted to actually talk about the astrological combination and synastry chart, which is like a relationship chart, between Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes. So I'm very interested in that because their relationship is all over the media all the time, and they kind of it's interesting because there's all these different perspectives on the relationship, and I have kind of looked online to see what other people have been saying about their relationship. And astrologically speaking, I wanted to see what kind of aspects created that sort of dynamic, and what they've done. Because really, they've made a lot of music. They've connected that way. I don't know if they're entirely the best romantically, per se. I think, in my mind, I believe they're kind of doing a lot of it for like PR and like just kind of like marketing and stuff, connecting those two. But maybe they have a genuine connection. I don't know. But anywho, let's go into the charts right now, and see what we got. So Camilla, her birthday is March 3rd, 1997 at 9:50 a.m. She was born in Colima, Cuba. And I have her information here, and then I'm going to put it in a chart with Mr. Mendes. Shawn Mendes was born August 8th, 1998 in Toronto, Canada. It does not have a time on that one. So unfortunately, when you don't have a time in astrology, birth time, it kind of takes a lot of it away, a lot of answers away from things. There isn't much to be dissected. I mean, there's a lot to be dissected based off of just the birthplace and the birthday, but without the time, there's like a whole other dimension that isn't added to that. So I'm going to do as best as I can without his birth time, but we'll see what happens. So I plugged it into horoscopes.astro/seek or astro-seek.com. So if you're interested in that, you can look at that as well. So I am going to try and superimpose this photo onto the screen somehow. I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but we're going to do that. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So this is their chart. Couple things that immediately stand out. So as I said, I can't see Shawn's birth time, so I don't know Shawn's birth time. So because of that, I can't really have a strong, really strong basis of what I'm talking about. But a couple of things that immediately stand out to me are the Chiron and Lilith placements, and the Chiron placement for Camilla and the Lilith placement for Shawn are conjunct by a couple of degrees, which means that there is going to be a very karmic connection, a very deep connection, where there's a want to merge on a very deep level. So that can be sexual. Lilith tends to be the more sexualized one. And Chiron is the healer. So because of that, when those two come together and they conjunct each other in a relationship status, there is a lot of karma connected with those two people. So there's like a very strong bond there, right? So then if we actually go over to Camilla's Lilith, which is all about like raw sexuality, that's in Leo, it's going to be right in between Shawn's Mercury and his North Node, which is quite interesting because that it kind of shows that like a lot of what he's communicating is really connected to the Lilith, the sexual desire and the sexuality of Camilla, and they really show that really well in their whole Senorita video and all that stuff. But it is interesting just to see that the Lilith is on there, because it seems like their relationship is very sexualized, or that's really what people want to know about, is the sexuality part of it, because people still wonder if Shawn Mendes is gay or not, because that's a whole another thing. But the thing is, we have the Leo sun with Shawn here, and then we have the Pisces sun with Camilla, and they don't really mesh too well. Fire and water don't really tend to get along too well. Granted, Shawn has a water Venus and a water Mars, and then also has like a water Jupiter. And that's about it. The rest of it doesn't really have much water, but Venus and Mars in Cancer is a pretty interesting placement. It's opposite all of the public stuff. So he's a very private guy. He's a very, at least his relationship with Camilla, I mean, it is public, it's put on in public, but in general, he's a very private guy. Anyone that has a Venus and Mars or any Cancer placements in general tends to be more private and more, at home and doesn't really share themselves and really let people in the inner circle. So the fact that they're in that is quite interesting. The fact they're in a relationship. But yeah, Pisces and Leo, they're not really the best romantically, but creatively, they could definitely create some bangers, which they did. So there's that. There's a lot of energy around the 10th house of Camilla, so I think this is really helping Camilla's career more than Shawn's, because that just seems like what it would do. The thing that interests me too is that we have Shawn's Chiron on her descendant, which means there's something that he's helping her heal, some sort of trauma or some issue that he has, or the issue that she has rather, throughout her life and what she's gone through, masculinity and femininity issues. The thing is, I highly doubt that Shawn would be abusive, but there is a sign in here that there could be a lot of emotional abuse when things get heated, which I don't know. Like I said, we don't really have a really big understanding of the entirety of the picture because we don't have Shawn's birth time. But it's just interesting because they're not really the most compatible, you would think. We have this South Node conjunct Jupiter, which you would think would be great. But the South Node is kind of what holds you back, your comfort zone and things like that. And we have Camilla's South Node conjunct Shawn's Jupiter. So what that means is that Shawn is a very comfortable place for Camilla. And that's great to an extent, but it's not really pushing them in the correct, or her rather, in the correct direction. It's not really pushing her into development of a routine, development of those sorts of things. I think there's a lot to be said about their relationship. He has an Aquarius moon, she has a Sag moon. Those are both really good combinations on their own, but they definitely enjoy freedom. I think Shawn has a bigger heart than, actually, maybe, I don't know. I think they both have interesting placements in regards to love. We have the Venus here square Pluto, so that would be Camilla's Venus is square the Pluto in Sag, and then we have a lot of the interpersonal planets, Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus, all squaring Shawn's Saturn. So there's a lot of karma with this relationship. There's a lot of things like that. I see a long-lasting connection for sure. I really don't feel like it's the best romantically. We have the moon in Sagittarius squaring his Jupiter and that South Node again, which shows that there's kind of a emotionality that might be over the top. This might make Camilla very, very artistic and very passionate and very great, but there comes a balance with that needs to be had, and I don't know if that balance is entirely there. The thing that I keep seeing is this Lilith near Shawn's energy, which is just like an over-sexualization. So maybe Shawn is wondering more about sex and sexuality and things like that, and exploring more in that way. And I think that they have chemistry, but it's not something that's going to be really publicized. I don't think it's ever going to be that way. And I think making it publicized was a great PR move, right? But I think there's so much behind the scenes with the relationship that it's hard to tell. And even, if I had Shawn's, chart, or like fully in my hands, I'd be able to give you a better picture. But overall, I just don't think they're really compatible. I think that, they have a lot of Pluto energy going towards Camilla's stuff, which means like very intense, very deep psychological things that are coming up. And those are not easy to deal with, especially in the limelight, especially in fame. It might be difficult to face those things and be real and be authentic, because you have to be the person that society wants you to be when you're on that level of fame. And it is difficult, so I definitely feel for her, especially. I think it's more difficult for her to adjust to fame and adjust to that and still have a private life, because she has a Pisces. She wants that like privacy, you know, and she might love the public life, but there needs to be an ability to pull that back. And I don't really know if they're entirely compatible. I mean, we have the sun, Shawn's sun is opposite Camilla's Jupiter, which just is more of an expansive relationship. You know, it just really seems like this is a relationship that's really good for their careers. That's really all I keep thinking and feeling, is just it's good for their careers, not necessarily their, you know, romantic part. And I think they're at a point in their lives where they shouldn't really be trying to find the one and find the partner. I think they should just be having a good time in their life, enjoying what they're doing. But I do not think this is going to last. I really don't, especially with, you know, we have that Lilith and that Lilith, like the Lilith Chiron, definitely. Okay, this is what I think. I think they're going to be lifelong friends. They're going to be lifelong coworkers and artists that create together, right? But I don't think they're going to be, like, get married. I don't see that. I do not see that at all. You know, we have that Chiron conjunct the descendant too. We have a lot of asteroids that are conjunct different angles and different things that I just don't see a long-lasting sort of relationship with this, you know. And then we have, right now, we have Saturn going right over Camilla's MC and right over that little stellium she has there. So it's gonna make, you know, those things kind of come out, and it's opposite Shawn's sun. So it's gonna really test the relationship. And if they were to break up, I would not recommend, I would see that they would probably break up in about the next year or so, or at least kind of fizzle it out. But I also feel intuitively that they're not gonna just like announce that they're over. I think they're just gonna not talk about it anymore and still have the relationship in the public, but not actually be in a relationship, because something just doesn't feel right with their energy together. It feels like there's things that aren't really being talked about, especially, but that's also because they're both very private people. But I think they need to have more authenticity, because I think they're, as any celebrity, I think they're trying to get likes and views and things like that, because they're upholding an image, and that isn't the image of who they really are, especially for Shawn. I think it's difficult being a celebrity, because you'd have to find ways to put your own spin on what you're doing and your own stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure how the relationship's going to turn out, but I do feel like it's not going to be long lasting. I don't think it's going to last I don't think it's going to last 2 years. I don't think. But that's just me. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to kind of talk about astrology and just kind of see what's going on here. But yeah, I love you guys. I love astrology. I love Camila. I love Shawn. I love both their music that they make. But as for relationship wise, I just don't think they're really worth the time. I think they're gonna get a lot of career clout and career advancement through the relationship, but it's not gonna be something that's gonna be long lasting, unfortunately. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be putting more videos out soon as well. So make sure you subscribe for those. If you're interested in personal astrology readings, I do those as well. So feel free to comment down below or reach out to my social medias there. Other than that, yeah, I love you guys. I think I already said that, but whatever. Have a great day. Stay blessed. Love you. Bye.